Hi, Tobias Hurwitz here, bringing you the third installment of my comprehensive course on rhythm, understanding rhythm. Now, in previous installments, we've gone over the basics, terminology, the beat, pulse, meter, tempo. And if you've forgotten these terms, you might want to refer back to episode 1. Now, in episode 2, we talked about some time signatures, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, and 7/4. In this installment, we'll be learning about note values in 4/4. So what we have here is called a note pyramid on the board, and each one of these 5 lines of music would take up 4 beats in common time, which is called 4/4. This is called a whole note. It lasts for 4 beats. These two things are called half notes, and each one of those lasts for 2 beats. And of course, these are quarter notes. There are 4 of them in a measure. Eighth notes, there are 8 of them in a measure. And triplets, there are 4 groups of triplets, so there are 12 triplet notes in a measure. Now let's get into some demonstrations of how these notes work. So if I were to play a whole note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the Steampunk Metronome. It has an accent on 1. So you hear 1, 2, 3, 4. If I strike a chord, let it last for 4 beats, then that chord lasted for a whole note. Now, I'm going to strike a chord, and I'm going to strike several chords, and they will each last for 2 beats, and they will be what are called half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, that's how half notes sound. Now, as we keep going, we're going to be playing faster and faster so that the notes fit in the same space, but there's more of them. So these are quarter notes, and if I played those, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these guys are called eighth notes. Within each beat, there are 2 of them. They are counted like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Those are eighth notes. Now, down here we have triplets, and they are counted 1 ta-ta, 2 ta-ta, 3 ta-ta, 4 ta-ta, like that. So if I played triplets, they would sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to stop the metronome and get into a little bit more discussion on this topic. So these notes, the speed of them are completely determined upon the tempo of the music. At the moment, the metronome is set for 75 BPM, which is a medium tempo. If it were to be faster, of course, I would have had to play those things faster, and if it was slower, I would have had to play them slower. So they're all relative to whatever the beat is, whatever the pulse is, the BPM, beats per measure. I'd like to also point out that the Steampunk metronome is set for an accent of 4, which tells you where the first beat is. So if you heard this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that sort of cues you to where the downbeat is, the first beat of the measure. Now I want to give you a couple of examples of these notes, and I think I might use some classical music to make these examples happen. So I'm going to read a little music for you here. And I'm going to start by talking about Pachelbel's Canon by Johann Pachelbel. This is a pretty good little rhythm explanation, because it starts with half notes, then moves to quarter notes, then moves to eighth notes, and plays continuous passages of each type of note, just like here, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are half notes because they take 2 beats to play. But these are quarter notes because they take 1 beat to play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are eighth notes because 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you get the idea there. Now let's talk about counting these notes a little bit. We just demonstrated them, and when I was doing the half notes, they were counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, the quarter notes were 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the eighth notes you count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's a little instruction on how to count those types of notes. But then underneath that, you see a little something called triplets. Now triplets are when you divide a beat into 3 equal parts each, and they are counted. I'll put on the metronome. 1 ta-ta, 2 ta-ta, 3 ta-ta, 4 ta-ta, 1 ta-ta, 2 ta-ta, 3 ta-ta, 4 ta-ta. Now I'm also going to use a piece of classical music to demonstrate triplets. This piece is called Jesus, Joy of Man's Desiring by J.S. Bach, and it uses nothing but a stream of triplets with an occasional pause. I'm going to choose a passage that's nothing but the triplets, and you'll probably immediately recognize this great piece of music. Taking off the accent here. I'm Tobias Hurwitz, signing off for the Steampunk Metronome. I hope you decide to join me for the next episode, and for the following ones, because eventually we'll reach the highest flights of rhythm, and even demystify the enigmatic Black Page, written by Frank Zappa. So in the meantime, get the best metronome in the world, the Steampunk Metronome. It's a free app for Apple or Droid, and also, of course, iPad, as you see it here. And it'll help you follow along with these lessons. And please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Tobias Hurwitz, signing off.